Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an AMX 13 F3AM. It's a tier 6 French SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Cliff, and this one is under the command of Running Hawk. Okay, game on. Well, this little Arty is based on the AMX 13-ton tank. Yes, they use that hull for a lot of purposes because it was very versatile, very reliable. Engines up front, the driver's on one side, the engine on the other, and the commander sits directly behind the driver, kicking him in the ass. Yes, well, not really, no, but there's only 2 men actually in the vehicle. The rest of the crew would travel in a separate truck. 155mm howitzer is its main armament, and it's quite powerful as well because you'll see it's actually capable of 700 alpha, penetrating 39mm of armor, and it has a burst radius of 8 meters. And his first customer is an MT25 who's, well, just come around that corner, but, well, he's decided he's going to take advantage of these heavies who've actually stopped to take in the view just on top of the hill. He's dialed in on the IS, he fires around, and it goes long and misses the IS by quite some distance. Now the reload is around over 20 seconds long. We haven't got a readout of the actual how many seconds it is at the moment. It's not showing, but hopefully it will show very shortly. T20 gets tracked in the western pass. He's almost dialed in. Rounds out. And again it misses by a mile. Something's definitely up because he's got 1 mark on his barrel. His crew have trained and practiced. There shouldn't be any problems hitting the enemy accurately. He's fully dialed in, and yet for some reason the shells are not hitting the spot. Now you're hearing the siren go off because this is an encounter game on Cliff. Yes, you don't see that all that often, but it is an encounter game. He fires around at the MT25 and pulls out of RT view. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see what actually happened to that shell, but I think it did hit the MT25 smack on. And we can now see it's the IS that's actually in the cap, along with another tank that we can't see, possibly that Indian Panzer there. Yep. Okay, he's dialed in, rounds out. Direct hit on the Indian Panzer. Notice how Running Hawk's changing position after every shot. Now, it's probably a necessary factor to do this on Cliff because it's well known where enemy RT might be located, and if the enemy wants to do counter battery, it's not going to take them long to work out exactly where to put the shell. In fact, one of the enemy RT has already been spotted and he's immediately switched to that target, and it doesn't look as if the SU-8 is moving position. He's just staying in one spot. He's about to get wiped out. Rounds out. It hits him, but it doesn't kill him. It wounds him. Now he probably will move position now. The Cromwell got down to that far end trying to find out who was down there, and he might be about to get shot at by the Comet. Now hopefully the Cromwell will find him. Yes, there he is. He's on the move. There's 2 enemy RT and they found the other one, which is a Hummel who doesn't know he's been spotted. Rounds out and Hummel. That's a direct hit. The SU-8 gets taken out by the Cromwell. There's a boogie on the cliff above him in the sniper position, the TD position, and he just kills the Cromwell, but he's still up there, and we're only a few seconds away from shooting, so we will have a go at that boogie. Rounds out. He's trying a blind shot, pulls away, and oh dear. Look, Running Hawk, if you're going to do this, we're not going to do your replays, so please do not pull away. That could have been a blind shot kill and we would have missed it. How can you know if that last shot actually hit the boogie if you pull away from the view immediately after you fire? Please do not do that, otherwise I will reject all your videos in future. Kills the Achilles, and this time around he did stick around to see what actually happened to the shot, but still don't know if that boogie's up there and if he's been hit or not. Comet. 1 shot. He's a splash kill now actually. Just land the shell near him and he should expire. Here we go. Rounds out. Yes, it got him. Okay, the enemy's capping again. but there's no sign of where the enemy is. But there is an IS-6 coming around the hill, around the cliff. And there's also an KV-85 off to the right and a Skoda T25 as well. He's going for the IS-6 first. Rounds out. Now, the AMX 13F3AM was such a good Arty. It's still in service with quite a few nations in South America, South America, rather, I should say, and elsewhere in the world. It's actually a very easy Arty to maintain because of the AMX 13 hull. Oh, another good shot right into the rear of the IS-2 shielded. So he's now got 4 kills. He's going for it in a big way. Can he get the a top gun? It's certainly possible. I've been in this position myself where I've accumulated enough kills and got to 5 kills, and then my teammates kill the last one before I can even get the shot out. But it's very nice when it is that position for Arty. You're getting good spots and you can then shoot at the enemy. But well, we can't see what's in the cap at the moment, but we suspect it's probably the Indian Panzer again. There's the IS-6. He's come to the cliff edge. Rounds out. Direct hit 263. Good shot. He's diving right over the edge, which is not a good move, and he got tracked. And he's landed at the bottom. He didn't lose any hit points, but he's stuck there. And the Oni's nearby, so maybe the Oni will actually kill the IS-6. Just needs the Oni to confirm where he is. There he is, he's moved. So good job that he held on, held his fire. The Oni takes the kill. I'm afraid that Running Hawk's shot there was a little too late to actually get any damage. Well, there's the Boogie that was up on top of the cliff, and he's missing 19% of his health, which might have been down to Running Hawk. That shot that he took, which he pulled away from, and we didn't get to see what actually happened to it. He fires one in, and a big hit for 334. He's stunned, and he took some more damage, so he's got some stun assist. And then he's expired. There's only one enemy left. It's the one that's capping, the Indian Panzer. Now he's got a 90mm gun, but it's 3 versus 1. And the Oni is virtually out of health. But we do have an UDES 03. And the UDES, well, he's probably the best one to take out the Indian Panzer. But first we need to find out where he is. Thought we saw him there briefly for a moment. If he hasn't moved, we might be able to get a shot in. He has moved. And in fact, actually, he's headed down to the Western Pass. Now, I have it in mind that Running Hawk is going to try and ambush the Indian Panzer. And he might sit on this corner, wait for the Indian Panzer to come around the corner and hit him with a 155mm shotgun. Here he is. Oh, he's coming round. Lock on. Oh, he's fluffed the shotgun. And he ram kills him instead. An Arty light tank, basically. Ram killing a medium. I suppose he'd lost enough hit points. Okay, well, I'll talk about that technique for the shotgun a little later. In the meantime, we'll get on to the results. He managed to get an ace tanker in that game. Not for the ram kill, but for being consistently shooting the enemy and hitting the enemy. He also picked up a fighter manager, getting at least 4 kills. He actually ended up with 4 exactly. And a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 12 in total. And he got a Gore's medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And he got 8,191 base win 8 from that game, which is Super Unicum standard. And if we look at the kill, just to see how much he did. Actually, he didn't kill the Indian Panzer. According to this, the Indian Panzer, he did 227 hit points of damage to him. But the Indian Panzer, if I look at this, was actually killed by Nate Dodge, which I think is the UDES. Yes, it is the UDES. So it was a kill steal by the UDES at the last moment. Well, if we look at the team scores, we'll go back to those. He did get the highest damage in his team, but not the highest damage overall. That went to the IS-6, who managed to get a high caliber for 4,478 hit points of damage. And then Running Hawk got 2,917. When it came to kills, they both shared the top spot. 4 kills for Running Hawk, 4 kills for the IS-6, and 4 kills for the UDES-03 as well. And when it came to base XP, yes, that was Running Hawk. 1,273 base for him, 962 for the Oni, and 888 for the Cromwell. And the reason for that was so much stun assist. Let's have a look at the team score. 16 shots fired, 8 direct hits, 2 penetration, 11 splash. Damage of 2,917 hit points, of which 2,885 were at more than 300 meters. He actually damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 4 of them, so there's a 5 gap there, that's why he didn't get a Confederate. 1,327 hit points of stun assist off 9 stuns, that's why his XP is so high. And he got 22 defense points as well, resetting the cap. On a premium count, he earned 66,224 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 49,094 credits. He received 1,909 XP, times 2 for the first victory, 955 for the completing the mission and events, and 4,774 overall, 4,774. So he says this is his best damage game ever in the AMX 13 F3AM. Well, it is certainly very, very good. He did do a lot of damage, but I think that the AMX 13 F3 can do more damage than this. This is not the highest that it can go to. I think it can do considerably more. The problem really is, of course, the slow reload rate. It's around about 25 seconds to 26 seconds on the reload, and that kind of slows down the amount of damage you can do. But if you pick the right targets, then obviously you can maximize your damage. As to the shot on the shotgun on the Indian Panzer, what he really should have done is locked on, auto-aimed onto the target the moment he came into sight. Click on that right click button to lock on the auto-aim onto the target, and then steady your vehicle so that when you fire the shotgun, the shell goes directly to the target and not anywhere else. So I think he was a bit too hasty, and it may have been because the Indian Panzer surprised him. Didn't come around the corner as he expected to, directly in front of his gun. He actually came out to one side, and that surprised Running Hawk. But he was also saved by the fact that the UDES was watching in that direction, knew where the guy was coming from, and the moment he came out to plain view, the UDES fired, and Running Hawk ran into him in exactly the same moment. Running Hawk didn't get any damage from the ram, but the UDES effectively saved him from being blown up as well, because it ended up that Running Hawk was running into a wreck, not into an active tank. But as for the other thing, well, please do not pull away from a shot after you fire it. If you pull back, you deny anyone the chance to see whether or not you've got a blind shot hit on an enemy tank, and that's important information to know. You need to know if you've hit the enemy already, and obviously he did, because that boogie was missing 19% of his health. But if you pull away, you can't see if you actually did hit him or not, because you don't see if there's an explosion at the other end when the shell goes in. So you must stay with the shell to see what happens to it. And if you pull away, well, we'll reserve the right not to do your replays, simply because you're not providing us with any information on the actual replay. You're not showing us the actual battle. You're actually firing a shell and then pulling back and seeing something completely different, and well, it denies us an opportunity to see what's going on in the battle. And I have given this warning to quite a few other people, but Running Hawk does put a lot of replays through us, so he should know this by now. Not to pull back after you shoot. You must stay with the shell, see what happens, and then adjust your aim accordingly if you're going to fire another one in. But if you keep pulling back and you deny us a view of the battle, we will then say, I'm sorry, but we're not going to do your replays from there on in, because there's no point. I'm not going to waste time on doing a replay where I can't see anything. So be warned, Running Hawk, be warned. Same warning I've given to other people. I try to tell them you have to stay with the target to see what happens. And if you don't stay with the target and see what happens, then please send your replays to somebody else. Thanks very much for watching.